Welcome to Spit Bucket. I have no idea what this session is, other than Swig's come up with
the vial.
For all we know, it's Ribena, but he's asked us to have a look. We have absolutely nothing to go on. Are we getting any clues?
Ooh, nothing. It's a closed book.
He's sitting over there feeling very pleased with himself. Well, the colour is certainly mature. For some reason, he's got a thing about the 1993 vintage, so perhaps we should start. Oh, he's shaking his head.
Wow.
It's got a real earthy, animal hide character.
I don't know, it makes me think of like a Cabernet or a Cab Sav. Yeah, a bit of age on it, a bit of water.
A little bit of Brett.
A little bit of Brett. So Brettanomyces, it's not what you want, but it can add a bit of interest to your wine.
If it's in really tiny percentage.
Cam's not a big fan of Brett.
Normally it's got to be a fair bit there for me to see it, so I'm thinking that this is one that the Brett police might jump all over, but certainly I was thinking along the same lines as you, some sort of Cabernet Bordeaux type.
All right. It's a little bit thin.
I reckon whatever's in there, Brett or whatever it be, is chopping it off and thinning it out. It's really scalping the flavours.
Okay, all right. Best guess?
Oh,
well, I think we're...
Best guess is something best left alone. No. Well, I guess the first thing we've got to do is look at it from a quality point of view. To me, I'm not excited at all by it. I hope you didn't pay much for it. He's gone pale. He's gone real pale.
Jasper's in the building.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's an Aussie sort of a drink. It's, I don't know.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's one of the lesser Bordeaux or sort of a Cabernet from southern France, or Cabernet blend from southern France, Cab Franc or Merlot or Malbec, some of the Bordeaux varieties. It's got to have at least 10 or 15 years on it. You'd think it's got to be from the 90s at the absolute. To me, I wouldn't be surprised if it was older. And I wouldn't be holding on to it any longer.
No, it's a drink now. Cook now.
Yeah, I think it actually was a drink then. But it's always interesting to see something new. As a wild guess, biodynamic? No, just that he's got a thing about biodynamic, so I thought I'd take a punt. No, he's off there shaking his head. Well, that's about as far as we can go. If we can hold on while out comes the bottle. Okay, we're back. As you can see, the bottle. Chateau Moussard. Now that's a really interesting, and I tell you what, I've had a lot better examples than that one, I reckon. And that should be drinking. It's a 1998 Chateau Moussard. For those who aren't familiar with this particular one, Serge Hockar, I think is the way you pronounce it. He's from the Bekaa Valley in Lebanon. He doesn't make it, well, in the old days he didn't make it every year because occasionally there'd be a war on in his vineyards, and it was a bit difficult to actually pick when there's a war. But he won the Decanter Man of the Year quite some time ago. I've seen some of his wines that have been terrific, so I'm a bit disappointed in that. I think it's more, I'm not sure of the varieties, but I've got a feeling there would be some of the Bordeaux varieties in there and probably a few other weird and wonderful things. Have you seen them before?
No, I've never seen this one before.
Yeah, that's really quite disappointing because it is quite a famous winery and you'd expect more. I don't know vintages in Lebanon, I couldn't comment, but well, there we are. Just a little bit on Brett. Brettanomyces, it's a yeast problem that is prevalent or was prevalent in certain wines and wineries and regions. It's been identified and it's been cleaned up. The Australian show system is utterly unforgiving of any hint of it. In Europe, they're much more forgiving, and indeed, as you mentioned earlier, Tim, a little bit is sometimes seen as adding a bit of complexity. you're doing some winemaking studies. What are they telling you about Brett?
Basically, it's just a bit of a hygiene practice. You keep your winery clean, and then you got no problems. But the main problems is that a lot of biodynamic and organic wineries have this problem with Brett because they don't have all the chemicals to control it. When we say Brett, what are you smelling? When you swirl it and smell Brett?
What you get is a sort of a mousy character. Sometimes people think of, you know, that if you rip off a Band-Aid, that smell, there's a bit of that. Horsehair, sometimes that sort of character. For those of you who have seen the Chateau Moussard wines before, let us know what you think, what your experience has been.
Yeah.
Any last thoughts?
No.
So anyway,
Thank you.
remember, we spit so you don't have to.